Hi, my name is Abby, and I am here to talk about my service project with Nelsonville York City Schools, where I was a part of their food packing and delivering for students for weekend meals. Although I had originally chosen a different service opportunity, I had the fortune of serving back in a place that I hold near to my heart through an opportunity presented by my past supervisor, Autumn. I originally found Nelsonville York through being an AmeriCorps member with the ComCorps program after I went to Ohio University. And this was in a time where I was very unsure of where my life path was taking me. During my service years, I was with Nelsonville York Elementary as a school health coordinator. I worked under Autumn, the school nurse, and a few members of the school staff, and I had the opportunity to teach and implement different health initiatives to students and their families, as well as go out into the community to be a part of service happening all over the district. Nelsonville York has an amazing staff whose main goal is always to put their students and their families first. It is honestly the base of their practices, both as educators and members of the community. I felt honored to be able to go back and serve alongside them again. Although the community faces higher levels of hardship and was one of the communities that was hit hard by the opioid crisis, the people within the community are amazing. Most are extremely kind and neighborly in the small community. And what makes them stand out to me versus any place that I've worked or lived in my lifetime is their ability to always be there for one another. Even when a person has nothing but the clothes on their back, that most would be willing to give that if someone asked, both in good and tough times. So the service that I performed was packing and delivering meals with Nelsonville York City Schools for students and their families. The meals consisted of a variety of fruits, vegetables, grains, protein, and meal staples that would make sure students were being fed when they were away from school. The students were given or are given free breakfast and free lunch every day at school. However, teachers and staff saw that when they were coming back on Monday, many had not received the proper food over the weekend. Despite best efforts to send home extra snacks, it was not enough. So the school district took these matters into their own hands and organized for food to be delivered weekly to students in need on the weekends starting this school year. 26.9% of Nelsonville families live below the poverty line, which is over double the national average. So this service was greatly needed. I was lucky to be able to go and serve at the school on two occasions this fall for about 4 hours at a time to first back up the meals, followed by taking the school bus with my team to deliver them on that bus route. As I mentioned previously, the teachers and staff saw a great need for these services. Athens County, especially the city of Nelsonville, is considered to have food deserts within it. When people ask, what is a food desert? According to my sources, it is defined as geographic areas where residents access to affordable, healthy food options, especially fresh fruits and vegetables, is restricted or non-existent due to the absence of grocery stores within convenient traveling distance. One of the issues that plagues Nelsonville is that many residents are without reliable transportation. So, due to these high levels of transportation issues and the aforementioned poverty, many families are unable to provide their students with nutritious foods in solid, consistent portions. So, for example, when I was out delivering food, I encountered students living in hut-like structures at the end of dirt roads. Even in like the small neighborhoods, grocery stores were often a few miles away, making it difficult on many families to be able to provide. So in doing this service, I was able to go with Greenleaf's questions on servant leadership in a few different areas. For one, in the growth, those serving can grow both by giving back to the community and through keeping organizational processes in their packaging and delivering methods. And then those being served can take the service given and give it to their families, or remember the service and being able to give back in a time when they're ready and able, or pass it forward and along. In the health area of the constituents growing, we do hit the physical aspect with nutritious foods that promote physical health being given, to help people be healthier, stronger individuals. And then as far as like soul health, mental health, a lot of parents and families reached out to my supervisors to share that their hearts were also feeling better, knowing that there was food to give to their children, burdens were being lifted. In autonomy, the families being served now have the choice to do other things with their finances and have to worry about using it to cover meals. And there were also a lot of options in what food was delivered. We wanted people to have choices based on their preferences, based on their needs, dietary restrictions, whatever it may be. And finally, in our other 3 areas of leadership, there again, there was a freedom for these families, a burden to be free from their burden of lack of resources, whether that be monetary, transportations, skill of cooking, whatever it may be, by being able to have this food, to have that taken away. Leader development, we had at least 20 volunteers every day coming from the staff and the school and the community. And there was also an opportunity for high school students to come out and serve, many of which who were receiving the services that we were giving, but feeling the need to come in and volunteer themselves in these times. And then finally, just the common good of being able to give back to the community. No student should have to wait until Monday morning to be able to have access to food. So families being served or having access to food that they may not otherwise get, and just being able to provide those services and fill some bellies and fill some hearts as well. As far as leadership skills that I was able to perform during my time in this service, I got to take some of what I had gained from AmeriCorps in those times and in years that have passed from my leadership experience. So the first being teamwork. I worked with, like I said, I worked with at least 20 staff members on each day, and then was paired with 3 specific staff members that took that same route each week, one of which being Autumn. And then we were also assigned a bus driver, that was her bus, to take the food on the different routes. Everyone had roles to play, but I was able to practice working with this team, seeing everybody's different strengths, and we were able to communicate through them, as well as taking turns in running the food, solving any issues, fixing any mix-ups, anything like that. Secondly, we practiced a large amount of community in this. Each bus was adorned with signs to promote community and family vibes as we delivered. For my bus, one of our team members made "We Are Family" signs to hang in the window. Families assist each other in times of hardship or need, so we were building community in doing these acts of service. And finally, cooperation, as there was a lot to do each morning, from unpacking food to dividing according to families' needs and requests, to packing in the bags, putting the boxes, loading it on the bus. There were so many moving parts and lots of moving people. The operation had to be like a well-oiled machine in order for it to work, for us to stay on schedule. Um, and unfortunately, on more than one occasion, especially in the packing process, I was placed with people who were harder to get along with, and may not have known what was going on, or slower to the learning process. So I used my cooperation skills that I have built as a leader to communicate with them, set some expectations for what was going on at each table, and also setting some boundaries that allowed for work to continue to be done. And then I was able to capture many wonderful photos of the service that was occurring, as well as was lucky to have a few photos of myself being able to be included as well. This is such an amazing opportunity, and I look forward to being able to go back in the future to help serve or to find an opportunity within my own community now to be able to help provide these kinds of service or even be a leader in getting those services started. So thank you for your time. I hope that you have a wonderful week. Thank you.